Hey guys, what's up? LooseCannonRobu here. Today I was gonna vlog for VEDA Day 8. I'm sorry, wait, no. Cut. Take 2. VEDA Day 9. And I wanted to talk to you guys about something sort of kind of on the serious side, but maybe somebody can get something out of it. So today I'm going to vlog about choices and like where you live and things that are around you and stuff like that. I lived in Mansfield, Ohio all my life. I was born in what used to be Mansfield General at the time, back in 1981. And at that point, from then until I was 2 years old, I lived on Mulberry Street with my parents. My parents then got a house on Auburn Street in Mansfield. And I lived there from the time I was 2 to about the time I was like about 23 or so. We lived in that same house. I only went to like one elementary school, I went to one middle school, went to one high school. My parents didn't believe in moving around all the time, like a lot of people do nowadays. And I was really grateful for that. I really loved the house that I grew up in. So, all I knew was Mansfield, right? In my early 20s, I was like 21, 22, when I started being trained for professional wrestling. Well, I met a guy there, one of the guys who trained me, and he tried to get me to move to Missouri with him and his wife. Also talked about, like moving to Alabama, stuff like that. I guess give it some serious thought, and I was going to go with them, but around like the last kind of moment I kind of pulled out. I was like, no, I don't want to go. I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready to leave Mansfield. It was the only thing I knew. So, as time went on and stuff like that, me and my wife moved out of my parents' house. We got our own place over at the Park Avenue Apartments. It's right behind Little Caesars on Park Avenue, if any of you guys are familiar with the Mansfield, Ohio area. So we moved in there, lived there a couple years, and then we got a place on Cook Road called the Woodbridge Apartments, or as I now classify them, the Hoodbridge Apartments. We looked at that place before moving into Park Avenue West Apartments. And it was a nice place. It ran nice, and they had real good background checks and good credit checks and, stuff like that, because they were serious about only letting, like, serious people who pay their bills in there, They didn't want no problems, no violence, no, people who destroy apartments, no, nothing like that, So they ran really good background checks. So, when we went in there the second time, was serious about trying to get a place there, it was pretty decent at first, for the first about maybe 6 months. And then this stuff started to really fastly go downhill. We lived there, I think it was about 5 years, about 4 to 5 years. And in that time span, it went from being a decent place to live to absolutely horrible. I mean, like, when me and my wife made the decision to move out, the owner of the buildings had changed hands like 6 or 7 times. It was getting to the point that maintenance refused to fix anything, and if they did fix it, it was just a half-assed job, so they can, basically get paid money for very little work. The ATF was out there arresting people in the office for selling guns and drugs, from the actual apartment complex office. along with some people that live there. Um, there was an incident out there where some guy was like had his gun tucked into his pants, flashing his gun around, being like, "Say something now, say something now," It wasn't a safe environment for me, not a safe environment for my wife, and it got to the point where my goddaughter couldn't even go out to play because we scared, what would happen. So we made the decision to move. Um, and at the time, I had some friends, was coming down. We was hardcore hanging out, playing Magic, going to movies together, lunch, and stuff like that. Doing all kinds of stuff together. It was real, a tight knit group of people. Well, these people are like hardcore Mansfield. I mean, like, they live, breathe, and die Mansfield. So, of course, they didn't see the reason why I wanted to move. That there was nothing wrong. And then after explaining this to them, about the safety feature and everything, or the safety factor of, wanting to move to a better, somewhere better, where, I didn't have to worry about people breaking into my apartment, or possibly, like theirs got broken into. Because even after that, there was still nothing wrong with the place, I didn't have to worry about somebody shooting up the block. Nothing like that. I wanted to get out of there. Move to a better place. So, of course, I got to go on what I call a ride-along with one of our friends, and she was trying to show me all these different places and decent areas, and, in Mansfield, like, oh, you don't need to move outside of Mansfield, you can live here, and the problem was the places that she was showing me are like $700-800 a month for rent. They don't allow pets. At the time, I had a couple cats. It's like $700 for a month for rent plus all your utilities. I'm on what they call Section 8 housing because I'm real po. Which is metropolitan housing here in Mansfield, is what they classify it. Section 8 everywhere else, but here in Mansfield, they think it could be, or in Mansfield, they think it could be different. They call it metropolitan housing, and I'm on that. And there's no way them type of people rent to people who are on public assistance for rent and stuff like that to me. No matter how good my credit is, no matter the fact that I don't treat apartments like crap, the fact that I always report whenever there's anything wrong, I don't cause any problems, I don't put holes in the wall, I abide by all the rules and regulations of an apartment complex, these people are still ain't going to rent to me. Because all they see is the fact that I'm on low-income housing. And they don't want those kind of people in their neighborhood. I can understand why. There's a lot of bad people on the system, and they can't tell the difference between me and somebody else. So I get that. But I couldn't make these points clear to these people, that, and plus, my parents had moved out of Mansfield, out of the house I had lived in until the time I was 2 to 25. They finally moved. They got a place in Lexington. They've been living there about a year at this point, and the place was quiet, well kept, well maintained. They didn't allow people into their apartment complex that was destructive, who were drug dealers or gun runners or thugs or flashing guns around. They don't let people like that live there. Complete opposite of Mansfield, and exactly what I was looking for. So, I told them I was going to, hey, look, I'm going to move to Lexington, it's not that far, it's like about another 15-minute drive from where I'm, currently living, but that 15 minutes makes a hell of a difference. It gets me out of Mansfield, it puts me in Lexington, it gets me, into a better apartment complex, someplace where they're going to take care of stuff, someplace where me and my wife can feel safe, someplace where my goddaughter can actually go out and play. But they wasn't having it. They didn't like the fact that I was leaving. They couldn't deal with it. So what happened? Basically, I lost friends out of it because they couldn't be bothered with the fact that somebody else has maybe a valid viewpoint and that they wanted to get out of Mansfield. They see me as like the pariah, like I was, somehow messing up their little family, whatever, of people who lived in the same, building because they lived in the same building as me. They couldn't get it. didn't sink in their thick skulls. So, I moved. I moved on Valentine's Day of 2012. And it is now October 9th in 2013. I'm sorry, it's August 9th in 2013. And best decision I ever made. I don't regret moving for 1 second. Not one damn second. These maintenance people have come in. They've been there on time, giving me what I need when I need it. If like the toilet breaks or something, they're there to fix it. The blind needs fixed or something like that, they're in there to fix it. And now, it may not be that day, it may not be the next day, because it's not a major importance to fix, like a blind. But when something major like the toilet needs fixed or something like that because it's leaking, they're in there that day to fix it. If something happens with the stove or the refrigerator, which it hasn't, but I know if it was, I know that they'd be there to fix it that day. They're not just going to leave me hanging like ghetto field. What I call Mansfield, ghetto field. And I will never, ever, ever, ever move back to Mansfield ever again. In fact, I'll tell you what, guys, I would rather be homeless, living in my car, than ever live back in Mansfield again. And so much so to the point that, once my daughter turns 18 and stuff like that, I'm making plans to move to Canada. I hate this country. I hate the fact that, that our country doesn't take care of us. And while, you shouldn't expect your country to take care of you, the fact that when there are some people in this world and in this country that need the help, they don't care. They're multimillionaires. What do they care about you for? They don't. And it's something that's irreputable. It's not ever going to get fixed because there's corruption in the government. So I'm ready to pick up and move to somewhere, where they actually take care of their citizens. I'm going to apply for dual citizenship, so I can become a Canadian citizen. But that's in the future, guys. But just for right now, I just kind of wanted to vlog a little bit, and tell you, a little bit about the choices that you have, and the fact that you don't have to be stuck with, living in a bad situation. The fact that if you want it bad enough, you can change. You can find a way to change. And while maybe moving, means leaving people behind that you care about, but honestly, if they can't understand the fact that your safety is more important than anything, they're not really your true friends anyhow, now are they? And I'm fine to let people go in my life who can't get that. And that's perfectly fine. Because I'm doing so much better now without them in my life. That's just the way it is. So sometimes you gotta let people go to make room for stuff that's better in your life. Because, I've actually made friends who care now. Who I know who's understands the fact that, your safety comes before anything. So that's the vlog for today, guys. I will be back tomorrow, obviously, with another vlog. So, out of the mouths of babes, I had VEDA, and VEDA Day 9. Gotta fucking talk. Alright, guys. Peace out. Home slizzle. My shizzle dizzle. Peace.